Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2. Hey there, hi there, ho there. This is RHJunior. RHJunior Reality Check coming to you live over the internet through the system of tubes. Through the boob tube we call YouTube, bringing you a little broadcast that I like to call, a little something I do every now and then, that we like to call spleen squeezins. And ain't got nothing that's working right. Cause the stupid thing is just not working. And my slideshow is still not working. If there's anybody out there that knows where I could find like a audio program that I could use for, I don't know, some sort of program that'll let me animate some sort of graphic diddly flop thing that let me put something on the screen besides my screen cap. That's tiresome. Hey, Mark Harris. We got a Mark Harris in the room. Yay! Now we turn the music down to about half. Can you still hear the music? I don't know. Can you hear the music? Can you hear the music? Okay. Crap. I finally got printer paper so I can print out my tax forms, start on my taxes. Got forms I gotta mail in. Got forms I gotta fill out. Still gotta print up the. I gotta print up the state and federal and crap. Got a doctor's appointment next Thursday. The entire purpose of the doctor's appointment is so I can go there, he can look at my legs, say, "You got swole legs," and then he can fill out a paper that he can that can be turned over to the arbors, so that I can be shipped over there for therapy for a couple of weeks. So it's, all around the mulberry bush. And right now, I don't even know how I'm going to get to the doctor's office. What I'm going to do is I have my Medicaid covers medical transportation, so that's covered. But the thing of it is that the local medical transportation consists of a taxi company, and the taxi company, the largest thing they have is a minivan, and it is almost impossible for me to climb inside one. That's how bad my legs are. It's I can you tell them, you need to get a full-sized van out here, or an ambulance or something like that, because no, they just go with a minivan. They just go with call a local taxi company and try and ship me out there. I'm gonna have to go through all sorts of rigmarole. Just to go like 10 miles, sit in a doctor's office, and talk to him just so I can. In the end, I feel all bad about it, because essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to be going on my Medicaid, going to this place and spending about a week or 2 weeks. Essentially, the entire therapy consists of being bedridden for 2 weeks with your feet elevated. watching lots of cable TV and eating free hospital food. Under other circumstances, that would be called a vacation. But it's, you know, I have no way here. I have no place here. I'm literally in a situation where I can't. I don't have the furniture or anything to elevate my feet with, and I can't get my feet elevated by myself. I know that sounds odd, but as it is, I can barely get in and out of my own bed at this point. I literally have to reach across from my bed, grab hold of the closet doorway, and 1, 2, 3, heave ho, and sort of lever myself up onto my feet. It's a mess. I don't know what to do about it either, other than what I'm doing now, because they don't, if it all comes down to this: if I just had one of those stupid beds, one of those mechanical beds that lifts your feet up, problem solved. But one of those beds costs like as much as a used car. So, I've got leg cushions and stuff, but I literally can't lift I can't lift my legs up by myself high enough to get the cushions under it. And I've tried. I lie on the bed, rolling around trying to stuff these foam wedges under my legs. It's like a whale rescue video, Oh, trouble with your internet? Well, what can you say? Not much I can say to it. Not much I can tell you. I really don't have anything else to put up on the screen but this Spleen Squeezins logo. I don't know. I'd even be happy with like an animated GIF or something. Now, let me see here. I can't get an image slideshow for some reason. Where is it? Documents. AAA slideshow. That's it. At least it moves. Okay. Okay, we got two people watching, and one of them is Mark Harris, and who's the other one? Speak up. How are you, sir? What brings you to the show tonight? Who are you, and how are you, and what do you do for a living? No answer. It's so typical. But Okay, what's on the agenda today? Crap. Really? What's on the agenda today? What's on the agenda today? I haven't really decided. Probably just working on that next Questor page. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get that done. Get that done. Add the text. Get it published. Is a probably because it's a transitional image. It's really not part of the story so much. Let you know what's happening. Oh, brings to mind something I saw is, well, I'll say this much, Daniel Meyer and I, we're good friends. He's a good friend to me. He's been great, but, you know, we differ on certain issues. He thinks that, he generally tends to, think that, all the fans and everything are making too much of a big deal about all these reboots and franchise changes, and, you know, in the way that you know, his attitude, it's just a movie, you know, it's just a cartoon, yeah, it's just, you know, and he sides with the idea that fans are just spoiled. Okay, there are fans. No, I gotta disagree with that. Okay. Okay, this, let's lay it out here. The fans were willing to accept all sorts of abuse. Okay? They're not spoiled. We're not spoiled. You know, when the Phantom Menace came out, you know, it's really substandard movie, really disappointing movies. The trilogy was, the prequels were. But even after, you know, there were fans out there standing in line, dressed, ready, willing, and able to love all these three movies. You know, even though each one was a consecutive disappointment. Even after all that, you run a marathon showing of the Star Wars movies, you will get the fans out there. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Facebook. Just the problem is that the more we put up with, the more abuse we take. Seriously, abuse. You know, and you know, the more we're willing to tolerate, the more the corporations crap all over some of the most beloved franchises in American culture. And it's gotten to the point where if anybody dares complain, imagine going to a restaurant. You go to that restaurant for years. You're a loyal customer. You're a customer for years. But as you go by, the service starts dropping off, and the food quality starts getting worse. And finally, you come in one day. The place is filthy. The waiters are rude, and the food tastes like crap. And you complain, and all the food critics in the neighborhood attack you. Ungrateful food customer traumatizes local chef. What? Well, that's really how they're going at it. Let me see if I can find the picture here. You would not believe how hard it is to find a picture I've seen in the past series. Recently, he posted this one comic. Basically, it was talking about the people that played in the prequels, in the Star Wars prequels. Talking about how the kid who played Anakin, he was bullied bullied so much that he gave up acting entirely. The guy that played Jar Jar Binks, allegedly, he became suicidal because of the backlash against Jar Jar Binks. And then you have a couple of the actresses who played in the new movies. How they had to shut down their Twitter and Facebook accounts because of all the harassment and abuse they received. And it talks about how, and then it's got a picture of George Lucas and how he gave up the franchise because making the movies wasn't fun anymore. Quote. And he says, "This is why what is the name of the villain in the new movies? The guy with no chin, who's supposed to be Darth Vader's grandkid." And he says, the narrator basically says, "This is you, a spoiled, whiny cosplayer who throws tantrums and wants everything his way." Okay, excuse me. Excuse the bleep out of me, alright? Alright, first off, yeah, it's wrong, it's wrong to harass people. Period. It's not nice, you don't need to be told this outside of kindergarten. Come on. But, okay, first off, let's note something. First off, the kid, he was being bullied by his classmates, not by a bunch of anonymous fans. The guy who played Jar Jar Binks, I really doubt the fact that he was playing. The fact that he played Jar Jar Binks was the reason he became suicidal. I seriously doubt that. And I'm sorry, George Lucas, I quit making the movies because they weren't fun anymore. No, it didn't have anything to do with that billions of dollars in cash that Disney dumped on him while he rolled around naked in it, did it? You don't think that might have had something to do with his change of heart about holding on to the franchise? What it is that he he fell backwards into one of the greatest, most successful sci-fi fantasy franchises in American history and in the history of cinema. And like 20, 30 years later, he tries to half-ass another trilogy. It doesn't go over well And so he decides to get out while getting good and gets all the money he can from the Talking Rat Corporation. Look, I have a little bit of a problem. The reason every one of those people was harassed or bothered or picked on or had mean things to them is because they did a horrible job. They did a horrible acting job. They did a horrible directing job. They did a horrible writing job. And they made horrible movies. They got progressively worse as they went along. So now we got this social justice message movie, The Last Jedi. Get out of my face. And what really ticks me off, look, back, you think you have it so hard. Every last one of these people, even the kid, is crying all the way to the bank, mopping up their tears and snot with rolls of $100 bills. Get out of my face, Back in the day, you think it's bad being a Hollywood star and having people 1,000 miles away say something not nice about you? There was a time when lousy performers were pelted with rotten vegetables, okay? Chased out of town by people with angry dogs. Tarred and feathered, ridden out on a... It could be a hell of a lot worse. Alright? Ugh. And look at me. I am online cartoonist. I'm in the dregs of my career, frankly. But for years, I've been doing this for like 15, 20 years. Approximately, since just about 20 years. Online. That's just the online stuff I did. And I have been subjected to some of the nastiest, most vile abuse you can imagine. Just absolutely disgusting stuff. People attacking me, so they call me a bigoted Nazi, bigoted Nazi Jew, what have you, hate monger, homophobe, and just getting profanity-laced mail in my email box, people harassing me, trying to obstruct myself being posted. I've had people who just draw nasty pictures of my characters. They find out I'm a Christian and they think that's the heroic, manly thing to do, take my characters and draw them doing obscene things with each other. I'm not just talking, like internet porn. I'm talking make the dog gag kind of stuff. Look, I'm not getting showered with millions and millions of dollars for what I do. Okay, you want to play on this field, boys and girls? You better wear a cup. Oh yeah, I know about that. He was harassed. The kid was harassed. That's terrible. Yeah. But welcome to planet Earth, where children are bullied. So nice of you to join us. I submit to you that if he had been in a good movie, he might not have been harassed so much. That sounds heartless, but let's face it. He was made fun of because he had the stupidest lines in cinematic history. Are you an angel? My mother says angels are the most beautiful creatures in the universe. I thought I could live my entire life without hearing Darth Vader going, "Yippee!" Nah, not that fortunate. Never that fortunate. Oh, hold on a second. I gotta fiddle faddle with the mixture here. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. There we go. That might be a little bit better. Yeah, you would not believe. We're not talking geniuses here that are throwing these insults around, okay? But anyway, look, I'm homophobe, xenophobe, racist, bigot, pig. Oh, you're a Christian. You're responsible for everything bad that happened since the ancient Greeks. The usual crap. My life, welcome to it. It just bugs me. Okay, this is the new paradigm that no matter how badly they desecrate the common culture, the inherited culture of our society. If we dare complain about it, this is their whole attack mode. Step one: take a beloved franchise. That you think that absolutely nobody could screw up. Step two: screw it up. Dump all sorts of leftist social message crap all over it. Just crap all over it until it looks like you got condors living in your front yard. And then step three: anytime anybody complains about the mess you've made, scream and cry and whine and accuse them of being sexist or racist or whatever ist or ism you can think of that will offend the leftist elite living in Hollywood. And scream it louder and louder the more until everybody else shuts up. That's their whole business model now. Make something horrible and then scream like a little sissy whenever anybody says it sucks. throw tantrums until everybody in the press, oh, poor baby. You know, they're basically playing, let's you and him fight. You remember when you were a little kid and your stupid little brother or sister would be singing in the car next to you? You'd be waiting out in the parking lot. You know, back when they still let people do that. Parents would go into the store. We'll be right back in 10 minutes. Half an hour later, you're still sitting there, and the little mongoloid is, you know, picking at you and poking at you and you know, just hitting and just making you miserable. And you finally say, you know, and you either threaten to tell on them or you belt them one. Either one. And they start crying. And you know, you're not going to get to plead your case. The instant your parents come out there and see this little horrible thing sitting next to you crying, you know, they're going to be all over you like soy sauce on rice, you know. That's their whole business tactic. You know, be absolutely horrible, you know, and then try and get the press, you know, do something absolutely horrible with a franchise, and then, you know, go crying to the press. They were so mean to me. I had to cancel my Twitter account because they were so hurtful. And see how many white knight wannabes are in the press box that day. They're determined to destroy everything and leave nothing for anybody else. If they can't have it for themselves, they'll crap and pee all over it and make sure that nobody wants it. Oh, but I'm not bitter. Now maybe this is overrated. Maybe this is overreacting. You think? Do you think I'm overreacting? Do you think anybody, the people like me who complain about this and get angry at how we're treated, you know, that we're overreacting? Well, I submit to you this. You know, if you think we're overreacting, consider that this is how they started with everything else. This is how they got it. You know, this is how they took over the schools. This is how they took over the press. This is how they, you know, they've taken over. They've taken over almost everything except the entertainment industry. And they made, you know, and they've got 99% of that. They've got the entire propaganda engine. All they want. And they can't escape the fact that their glorious utopian fantasy makes for terrible entertainment. Socialism makes for absolutely crappy movies. Feminism makes for absolutely crappy movies. Humanism, it's just, you know, it's just a simple fact. You know, they just don't work. They do not work in a storytelling medium. They fall apart under any kind of pressure. There's something to be said for narrative causality and story structure, because under story structure, things that get overlooked in other forms of rhetoric stand out like a sore thumb as preposterous. The most, traditionally speaking, historically speaking, the most common way of passing down the values of one generation to the next for human beings has always been storytelling. And if a story does not hold the audience, if it does not entertain, if it does not make sense, it will not get passed on. There has to be some sort of visceral truth to it that you can recognize. Not always, that's not an ironclad rule. You get all sorts of stupid that people get up to, pass on down, but consider they tried to turn Star Wars into an anti-capitalist, feminist, just can carrier, and it didn't work. The story was terrible, and people stayed away in droves. They tried to turn one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies into a feminist chick tract, if you'll pardon the pun. And they had to, you would not believe the shenanigans they got up to try and make it look like Captain Marvel was a success. Right now, the Captain Marvel movie has barely, just now, broken $1 billion in ticket sales. After all this time, they had campaigns where they, take your daughter to see this movie. Like it was a great, mecca for feminist enlightenment. And I'm sorry, and they pushed it and pushed it and pushed it, and nobody was buying. And they had campaigns where they fudged the data in Rotten Tomatoes. Multiple times they deleted negative reviews. They just basically hoard themselves out to try and keep this movie out of the rotten category. And it still went into the, it still tanked in the ratings. That tells you how really bad it was. When all the help in the world won't, save your grade. When they bend the curve, the grading curve all over the place, and you still flunk. As the culture goes, so goes the society. They do not want any dissenting voices out there, even in the most trivial entertainment. God help you if you contradict their progressive, enlightened, self-anointed message in any of its particulars. women can do anything that a man can do except handle criticism. You know, you can kind of wonder why leftism and feminism are such close travelers. Because feminism, you know, it's one of the outlying attributes of it. You know, it used to be that, you know, no, I'm talking about feminism. I'm not talking about, you know, the suffragettes or anything like that, all right? There's nothing unusual about the idea of wanting to be treated fairly. You know, paid the same job, given the same pay for doing the same amount of work, that kind of thing, yeah? But let's address a few facts. Is that feminism, even at its very start, back when the suffragettes were starting, you know, it was not as pure and enlightened as everybody wants to pretend. Oh, they weren't that bad back then. Oh, yes, they were. You know, don't let a coconut land on your head and then wonder where the coconut tree came from. I'm sorry, it came from a coconut. Hello. The tree grows from the acorn. One of the things about feminism is that they wanted to overthrow the traditional family. Not just deal with men who were mistreating their wives. Society used to do that on a regular basis. The men would show up and beat the everlasting crap out of them. The woman's brothers and her father and her cousins would show up and just hammer the guy into the ground like a tent stake. Well, they don't tell you that 9 times out of 10 the woman would jump on their back for doing it. People in dysfunctional relationships are just crazy. But no, they wanted to dismantle the structure of the family. They wanted men to stop being the providers and protectors. They wanted women. They wanted society to treat men and women as if they were different in no way whatsoever. When even the most simplistic of biology could tell you otherwise. We treat the women and the men, you know, we treat the women and the men in this business exactly the same. Oh, is that great? That's great. Do I get a pregnancy leave? No? Oh no, I get to pay for the kid. I just don't get to leave the office building and see the kid for the first couple of months, right? Do I get a tampon break? Thank you. No, I don't get a tampon break because I'm a man. Well, there you go. The reason men, you know, and nobody wants to mention the fact that part of the reason that women were paid less than men doing certain labor is because women can't and don't do as much work. They are not as physically strong. You hire a bunch of field hands or a bunch of manual laborers of any sort, and one of them is 2/3 as strong as everybody else. You're going to be inclined to pay them less. Is it the fault of the business owner that the majority of women simply do not do as well in certain fields? No. If you did a double blindfold study, I don't, nobody knows what double blind. Who the hell knows what that means? If you had businesses do it entirely on merit, and you blindfold them, they can't see, what gender or race or anything else. They can't tell anything about the person except that they work for the company and how much work they do and how quality the work is. Suppose that. Imagine that. Imagine that scenario. Now imagine that the company pays, they give everybody a score based on how good of a job they do at their work, and then they pay anybody who does less, who doesn't meet a certain level. Those people get a slightly lower pay than everybody else. Those who do above that mark, who do extremely well, they get a raise. People would scream bloody murder. As completely, as impartial and blind and fair and perfectly balanced and fair as it is, people would scream bloody murder. You know why? Because it would turn out that a huge chunk of the people who were getting paid less because of their poor performance, it would turn out that they would, a large percentage of them were minorities or women or any other protected group in our society today. Does that say that minorities and women? No. I'm saying that the circumstances is that these people are not, due to culture, background, and any one of a number of social influences, those groups do not tend to do as well. Correlation, not causation, is what I'm saying. But it has become a crime to pay, to treat, it's basically a crime to treat everybody as if they were the same. And in fact, there are people who are pushing to remove merit as a measuring stick of, entirely from the workplace, from the office place, from society in general. What do you think those participant trophies are all about? It's a sad state of affairs that, for instance, African American people, they have a higher rate of illegitimate births, unmarried mothers, and they have kids that are, an astronomical rate of high school dropouts. But is that the fault of the employer? If he rated black applicants fairly on the same scale that he rates white applicants, he would get in trouble with the government. And if he rated women on the same scale as he rates men, as far as equality works, same story. By and large, they are not as strong physically. They take fewer STEM courses. They generally tend to drop out of the workplace to pursue having a family. A man finds out he's going to have a family, he holds onto that job with both hands and feet and teeth. A woman, she follows, her gut and goes to stay home with a kid, or wants to. And no matter how much the feminists screech, more and more women are coming home, seeing their latchkey kid, and going, "What have I missed? What have I sacrificed? you know, to chase up this ladder. You think there's no difference? You know, you think there's no difference between men and women? There's no real substantial difference. You know, it doesn't really. Oh, really? Is that why they have a separate category for women in the Olympics? Is that why they have a women's basketball league where men aren't allowed? Is that the reason that more and more you hear more and more stories about young men proclaiming themselves transsexuals, taking a couple of hormones and then going over and kicking the crap out of every female in the junior sports league? What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Here's an interesting throw for you. I'll tell you. How, you know, if you did a statistic, I'm gonna lay a bet here. I'm gonna bet a few quatloos on this conclusion, that if you went out, you would find out that there are way more men, quote unquote, transitioning to womanhood than there are women transitioning to manhood, quote unquote. I'd say at least an order of magnitude more. At least. What am I basing that bet on? I'm betting at because our society unjustly and unfairly favors women, in every category. Whether provides them special privileges, special protections. They are the most pampered and provided for and protected social group in the history of man, the Western American female. And what a surprise that so many young boys are growing up and deciding they want to be a pretty princess. Because they basically got it, indoctrinated into them their entire lives that men are worth less than a woman is. That's the real reason so many of these men are realizing that I'm a woman trapped in a man's body. No, what you are is a man trapped in a woman's society. From the moment they change your last diaper, men in our society are treated like crap. Little boys in our society are treated like expendables. Well, every little girl gets to be a princess. And don't try and tell me I'm exaggerating either. The statistics hold me up. Small wonder that so many young boys decide that they wish they were little girls instead. Feminism is about equality. Faster you can say feminism is about equality. If feminism was about equality, they wouldn't call themselves feminists. They call themselves equalists. Or just general people's rights activists. Or something like that. But their focus is on all the supposed horrible things that happen to women in Western civilization. You don't see them going out there to the Middle East. Oh my God, there are women out there who are getting acid thrown in their faces for teaching other little girls how to read. And you're talking about how persecuted you are because your boss doesn't want to pay for your condom collection? Get out of my face. I've griped about these issues before, so this is a nothing new episode. Let's face it. I'll quit griping about it when it starts changing. Hello, thank you. The thing is, everything's changing, but only changing, by and large, changing only for the worse. of the future. Some toucan-haired, square eyeglass, nose-ringed feminist squatting over America. You hear a wet trickling noise, and she goes, "I'm making it better." Oh yeah, I've heard that the Shazam movie is really great. I mean, I saw the trailers. I said I want to see it. As soon as it hits Netflix, I'm all over it. It's not like I can run to the theater. Oh, I am so dreading this trip to the doctor. I swear I am. I'm not particularly thrilled about going into the care center either. It's what I need, what I want. So that's what I want. But and I'm getting off track here. But Billy, yeah, I've seen clips of the movie. Okay, I'm seeing way too many clips of the movie on YouTube. I'm gonna spoil it for myself. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. The guy playing Captain Marvel is absolutely brilliant at acting like a 15-year-old boy in a too large body. Oh well, whenever it hits a streaming service, then. But anyway, I saw one of the clips of the movie, where they're flying over the city, and whatever the villain's name is, he starts on his villainous monologue. The camera's focused in on him. I will destroy you, and I will destroy everything you love. And then the camera pans over, and it's Billy going, "What?" I can't hear you. You're like a mile away. What are you talking? What are you saying? Is this like your evil overlord rant thing? Oh, screw it. I thought I was gonna pee myself. It was brilliant, Okay, from the very first time they played that scene in the where they played that clip of them going into that late night gas smart, and the villain, and a couple of crooks shoot him, and he's like, "You got bullet immunity," and he's like, "Oh, that's awesome! You're dead." And the two guys come flying out of the window. I'm like, yes, I'm so going to see this movie. And I've been saying this before. I've been saying this movie is not just because it's so lighthearted, because it's so fun. It's a radical departure from what I can see of it. It's a radical departure of the usual formula for superhero movies. Protagonist suffers a tragic loss. Protagonist learns, great power, great responsibility, and goes off and and throws themselves into danger out of runaway rampant guilt complex. Well, really, that's what it boils down to. But in all the other superhero movies, you know, the protagonist, you know, suffers a tragic loss, and you know, they lose their family. They lose their Batman loses his family. Superman loses his family and the entire planet. You know, Spider-Man loses his Uncle Ben, and you know, loses his Uncle Ben, and he loses his girlfriend, and he loses his best friend, and you know, you know, but this one, you know, instead of losing their family and suddenly becoming an orphan, this is the one where he's already an orphan, and he's gaining a family. You know, instead of in the others, it's the formula that you have to lose your family. You know, you have to suffer a tragic loss and lose your family to learn how to be a man. Well, that's the premise, isn't it? That's the underlying premise. That you know, they have to suffer a tragic loss in order to learn responsibility. This one is you know, and this one is the inverse. They don't have to, you know, Billy Batson doesn't lose a family. He gains a family and learns the importance of family and matures from it. Am I wrong? You know, those of you who've seen the whole movie, tell me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm right. Come on. Say something. Say anything. Yeah, I always thought, you know, I remember when you know, the kid that played Anakin Skywalker. Okay, I remember when the movie posters came out, the very first movie posters came out, and you see this little kid standing there in the desert, you know, in the desert sun, in his little, you know, desert togs, and the shadow of Darth Vader is behind him, right? And I'm like, and then I saw the movie, and I'm like, they just did not do this right. The kid should have had a, you know, instead of being this cherub-cheeked little innocent, he should have had a sort of, you know, sinister, you know, faintly sinister vibe to him, like the kid from, you know, I See Dead People, you know, or one of the kids from one of the kids from Stephen King's movies, that kind of thing. You know, just you know, he should have been, you know, he should have still been, you know, innocent and cheery, but he should have had this. He should have been played so that he had this sort of, you know, ominous vibe to him. And you look at him, and you go, yeah, I can sort of see this kid happening, you know, into Darth Vader, yeah. And no, instead they turned the most ominous villain in sci-fi history into a whiny farm boy in bad armor. You ever really looked at the Darth Vader armor? It's crap. You know, you just take a look at it. It's absolutely a bad design, terribly made. I mean, the whole bodysuit, most of the bodysuit is just a you know, what do they call a boiler suit? It's just black overalls, puffy overalls. You know, you think of Darth Vader, you sort of picture in your mind as sort of this gigantic plate armored monster, you know, and then you look at the actual costume and give it a good look, and you're like, what is this? You know, he's got overalls and the shoulder. He can't even raise his arms over his head. Okay, that's going to be great for the lightsaber duels. And that's why I changed Darth Vulcan up so much. You know, I basically had, you know, the idea was supposed to be is that Ted was supposed to be taking the Darth Vader outfit and cranking it up to 11. heck with this. I'm gonna make a Darth Vader outfit where he's getting serious about stuff, you know. Horns and tusks and spikes and shoulder pads that move. You know, and plate around the torso, and a few skulls here and there, you know. Make Anakin pee his pants kind of outfit. Don't know how successful I was, but what the heck. Okay. For those of you who missed it, there's a new chapter of Lady Bird up. Okay, I don't know if you heard me. Repeating. Ladybird, the fanfiction Ladybird has a new chapter up. It's been up for about a day or so, about 2 days. In case you missed it. Any commentary? Anybody like to say something? Anybody got any commentary about that? Let's talk about something else. I'm just going to sit here and wait for somebody to make a comment of some sort. Are you still there? Can you hear me? Bueller? I hate it when this happens.
Voy a cantar.
Okay, hello, Eric Rowe. We got an Eric Rowe. We got a Ben Shakar. We got a few people. We got 4 people. We've got 4 whole people and a few partial ones. We got a Mark Harris. We got a Mr. Cartoon Critic, and that's everybody. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to do about that. I mean, it's not on my end. This is the best I can do with it. This is the best I got. Okay, like I was saying, any thoughts on the latest chapters of Ladybird or of the Warcrafter? I'm working on the latest chapter of the Great Alicorn Hunt, by the way, on the side. I don't know that chewing out an atheist does any good. No matter how well you argue with somebody, you're not going to win the argument. There is no winning the argument. You still have to step up and address their accusations and questions. But don't expect any great moral victories, is what I'm saying, I suppose. Yeah, here it is. Kylo Ren, that's the name of the guy. Couldn't remember it. Oh, I learned an interesting tip today. Yeah, how many of you get a frozen pizza? It's like, bleh. You follow the instructions, you cook it in the oven, you cook, and it's bleh. Okay, this is a tip. This is a pro tip that I picked up. First off, 2 things you need to do to make sure that a frozen pizza comes out, crispy. Without a soggy, chewy crust. You want the crispy crust. You want the yummy crispy crust, right? So what you do, first of all, you thaw the pizza. You don't just slide it in there frozen. You let it thaw in the fridge. Step 2, you bake it. You ignore the instructions. You bake it at the highest temperature your oven will go. For about 10 minutes. Now the reason you do that, this professional pizza ovens, most of these microwave or most of these little mini pizzas or frozen pizzas, they come in, bake at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. No. A professional pizza oven hits at least 700 degrees, and usually hotter. And that's why they're able to get them done so fast. That's why they're so hot. That's why they're so crispy. That's why the crust is, properly crispy like a pizza should be, instead of chewy like bread. Bake it, as hot as you can get it for about the time that you normally bake it at. And it works. I have a toaster oven. The toaster oven only goes up to 450. So, but also, third thing, you put the pizza right on the rack, or on if you don't if you don't have a flat skillet that you can put it on, or a baking stone. Just set it right on the rack. I would probably put at least a little sheet of aluminum foil under there if you got a real big, thick, doughy one. Because if you don't do it right, they'll just bleh, right through the grill. But you bake them hot, you bake them fast, and you get all crispy, and they won't sag through the grill. And that was your tip on how to make good frozen pizza for the day. Yes. All right.
It's your birthday. Happy birthday. It's your birthday.
I like this one. The fastest land mammal is a toddler who's been asked what's in their mouth.
It's a great day. That's what we say. Happy birthday.
modern Jesus. They say that Jesus is a myth. Okay. They've pulled that old wheeze up. You know, give them a cookie. I hate to break it to them, but there are historical records. Greek and Roman leaders speaking of the existence of Christ. So step off. Find something else silly to talk about. Get out.
Was Jesus really real?
Yes. Next dumb question. I love how people, the same people who would believe that Martians helped build the pyramids, these people are the same ones that question the validity of the historical existence of Jesus Christ. Yeah, just lie down before you hurt yourselves. Really. Same stupid song and dance, generation after generation. They don't want to believe in God, and we know why they don't want to believe in God. They don't want to believe in Jesus, and we know why they don't want to believe in Jesus, and so do they. And I've got better things to argue about, and with more interesting people. They think, they come up with this argument and they think they're really being cutting edge and being thoughtful. No, they're not. Rates right up there with some of the more popular. Was Shakespeare really Bacon? Short answer, no. Thank you. I've got no time for people who think and talk in clickbait columns, Seriously uncomfortable here. I can't get this cushion to stay. I gotta drape over the seat. I can't keep it on because the stupid frickin' seat is misshaped so that I'm sliding forward constantly. So the cushion slides out from underneath me. Best $200 I've ever spent. I seriously think what they did is that they put the parts from 2 different chairs into one box and mailed them to me. Really not happy. Not that I can do anything about it at this point. But, why do they keep turning up the volume of the frickin' music on this channel? Yeah, here's some. Let's see here. It's oh, that's not it. There we go. See if you remember using any of these. I remember those. I used to go to the park, had a lake, had ducks. We'd play with the ducklings. I used to have these things, man. I'm 48 and I still wish I had one. My very own. Coming soon to own on DVD and video. Remember that one? Play-Doh, yes. Funky rubber balls. Let me see. See if it goes the other way. No, it doesn't. Never used Windows like that. I skipped over the XP era. I remember those pencils. Can you think of a more wasteful way to make a pencil? Seriously, I don't know. The old water weenie. Throw it, try and catch it, and go flying everywhere. Oh yeah. Remember it. I have one of those. Or one similar to it. Never had the Nintendo. Those I don't remember. Don't remember those either. Ah, Frog and Toad are friends. I remember that. Frog and Toad are friends. Children's stories. Ah, I remember that screensaver. We had those. Still wish I did. I could stand to have a proper picture in cups. Corduroy the bear and his missing button. Solar-powered calculators. No, never had one of those. Oh yeah, I had one of those. I used to sell them door to door. Velcro paddles, you know. Oh yeah, the tape case. Oh yeah, I've got a stock of those simply, and well, with not music on them, but videos and stuff. Nostalgia. Okay, that's enough. I don't know what is wrong. I don't know what is wrong with this YouTube thing. It freezes up. The thing freezes up. Any thoughts on the Season 9 premiere of MLP? I haven't seen it. I still haven't seen it. I haven't seen the season premiere of Season 7, okay? I haven't seen... I think I haven't... I'm not sure if I've watched all of Season 6. I haven't watched Season 6, Season 7, or Season 8. So... I don't know. I don't know nothing. Got a bunch of people working on that show, don't know what they're doing and don't care what they're doing. Let's be honest. The whole My Little Pony phenom boils down to it was better than it needed to be. I don't know. I couldn't begin to tell you why. By all rights and measures, I should have never liked that show at all. I should have never liked it at all. It's a little, it's a girly show, quote unquote. It's it's cutesy pootsy. It's got a lot of cringe-worthy moments. Let's put it that way. But I still loved watching. I still love, even if I had to skim a few cringy points. But it was better than it needed to be. Decidedly rare quality. I've got to confess that I am out of gas. I'm out of gas. I started the show too late, and I don't even know what that thing is. I just went, ooh, animated GIF. I'll save it. But, yeah. They have, trying to remember what I was thinking of. Just something flashed across my memory, and now I can't remember it. Oh, for those who are wondering, I've started posting the Warcrafter and Ladybird on sufficientvelocity.com. If you want to see, if Archive of Our Own isn't working for you, try sufficientvelocity.com. I have all my stories posted on, most of my stories are posted on fanfiction.net, but they are way behind in updating. The interface is such a pain in the butt to work with on fanfiction.net. I don't bother with them anymore. It's just too much of a pain. It's just a colossal, just pain in the tuchus just to add a chapter. Back 10 years ago, that might have been all the bee's knees, but it just, it's not flying too well anymore. If you like it, sure, it's great, but you can keep it as far as I'm concerned. I may get off my lazy butt and update everything on that site, on fanfiction.net someday, but probably not. Okay, it is closing in on 11 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, thank you to my fans, my readers, my watchers, and everybody else who has been, keeping body and soul together for me. Thank you for your donations and pledges and commissions, all the other things you've done. You don't know how much that means. The site's name is sufficientvelocity.com. Is may take you a bit of poking around there to find stuff on it, but I'm there. Both the stories on there are under the fanfiction Worm, under the heading Worm, since they're Worm fanfictions. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I will see you all probably tomorrow. Don't you love that ironclad schedule? But you all take care of yourselves, okay? Good night.